Why hello there, this is your daily reminder that a block zone is a section of ride that only one train may occupy at a time. At the end of a block zone is a method to stop a train in case the block ahead is occupied, and this is the safety system that prevents roller coaster trains from colliding with one another. Big Bear Mountain has a sufficient block zone system to pretty easily run 3 trains, yet they decided to only buy 2, so I'm going to be salty about that till the end of time. But yeah, anyways, we finally learned last week that Big Bear Mountain will be opening on May 12th, which is a little under 2 weeks from now, about a week and a half from now. It was kind of weird. The announcement was made on Twitter, which I didn't catch because I don't read Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but someone posted it on Reddit. They didn't send out an email to season pass holders or anything like that, and then they just kind of updated the website to just say May 12th without a huge announcement. So that was a little bit weird, but whatever. This is Dollywood's new for 2023 Vekoma family multi-launch. I'm really excited about this because new coaster at my home park, obviously. It's the first time I've really been able to fully follow a coaster from construction all the way through to opening. And also, it just looks like a pretty fantastic ride. I know it's a family coaster, so it's not going to be like the most thrilling thing ever, but it looked like through the testing, it's been moving through a lot of those elements, especially in the second half, pretty fast, so I think it's going to pack a bigger punch than people expect. And plus, I'm just really a sucker for kind of theming in general. It doesn't have to be anything over the top, but just having something that looks nice, in this case, tells a little bit of a story, fits in thematically with an area. I just really like that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for that. If you have that, I'm good. So with this ride, I'm pretty good. Even if the ride ends up sucking, it's visually impressive. And I really love what it's going to add to the area and add to the park. But yeah, you didn't need me to tell you that it's opening on May 12th. You could have just Googled that. But given that it's my home park and I tend to follow a lot of this stuff really closely, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a rundown of what exactly the opening of the ride is going to look like, at least what we know. So if you're a resident in the local area or really just anywhere in the southeast and you're planning on making the trek to Dollywood for the opening of the ride this weekend, or if you happen to be passing through or traveling here from somewhere farther away during this ride's opening weekend, or I mean if you just live completely somewhere else and you're like totally coming over here just to ride this ride because you're that excited about it, I mean, more power to you. Here's what you should probably know. So again, Friday, May 12th is the official opening day of the ride. Now that is subject to change at any time. Construction on the site is still actively ongoing. I was last there 3 days ago and they're very close. I think they'll have it done plenty of time for that, but there's always the possibility they run into some kind of construction delay or weather or anything like that. Could end up pushing back the opening a little bit, but I feel pretty dang confident it'll be ready on May 12th. They also do state pretty explicitly on a page of their website I'm looking at right now that basically, you know, it is a new ride, so they're going to have to still be working things out on a technical level, and I'll quote, "There may be periods of time the ride will need to pause operation." So basically they're just saying, you know, there's still going to be kinks to be worked out, so expect there to be some downtime. I wouldn't expect anything to the level of like lightning rod, like no way. It was testing both times I visited the park last week, and the testing was going pretty consistently from what I could tell. It went really well. They were dispatching train after train seemingly without issue, so I wouldn't expect a lot of downtime, but they do say that here, that is a possibility. I think most people know that going into like a new ride, that, you know, it could break down. If you're waiting in line for like 3 or 4 hours, there is a possibility you get 2 hours in, it breaks down, and they kick you out of the queue. That might happen, so just be ready and don't be mad if that does happen. The next most important thing for you to know is probably just, you know, when you're going to be able to ride this. Obviously, Friday, May 12th is opening day, but throughout opening weekend, do not be running up to the ride right at park opening, like waiting to be one of the first ones in line for the ride, because you're not going to get very far with that. I want to be sure to say this because they're not very clear at all. Nowhere on their normal website does it say this. However, there are preview windows for certain season pass holders, which I'll get through in a second, that are on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. That's the mornings of May 12th, May 13th, and May 14th, where the ride will only be open to certain season pass holders during that time. And I did see them responding to someone's question on Twitter to confirm what I'm about to tell you right now, which is if you are just a member of the public or a season pass holder that is not applicable for this preview window, like myself and one of my friends, but I'll get to that in a second, the ride will open to us, to the public, at 2:30 p.m. on Friday, May 12th, at 1 p.m. on Saturday, May 13th, and at 1 p.m. on Sunday, May 14th. So again, don't visit Dollywood on opening weekend expecting to run right to Big Bear Mountain when the park opens, because you won't be able to get in until 2:30 on Friday and 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Now, what I don't really know is whether people who are not a part of this preview event will be able to walk into the plaza during the morning preview events, because that's not technically part of the queue. I would think that they're just checking people at the queue, but it's possible they'll be checking people walking into the plaza. But I hope not. For those of you who don't know, this ride has this whole big entry plaza that's all brand new that you can walk into. There's going to be a small snack and drink vendor there, some theming, and most importantly, the coaster will be flying over and under the pathways, which is pretty cool. I guess we'll see this weekend whether you're able to get into that area before 2:30 on Friday and 1 on Saturday and Sunday. But again, you can't ride the ride before those times. All right, now here comes the excruciatingly dumb and frustrating part. So next week, May 8th, starts the Big Bear Mountain Ride preview event window, which takes place Monday and Tuesday, May 8th and May 9th, and then opening weekend, not Wednesday and Thursday for some reason. I'm guessing that's because they say that Monday and Tuesday are technical rehearsal days. So I guess they're making whatever adjustments they need to on Wednesday and Thursday before actual public opening weekend. But basically, this is their season pass holder preview for the ride, except not really. So in order to be eligible for this event, you have to have purchased your season pass between October 17th and 30th, 2022. I did not renew mine until not long before the season started because I needed to make sure with some other things going on in my life, whether I was going to be buying the pass that included the water park or not. So that was the reason why I didn't renew right away. My friend Jason from the channel Coasters and Things, I was talking to him, I think yesterday. He also renewed later after that window. And we both tried to go on the website just to see if it would let us get through anyways to register for this preview event. And it did not let either of us through. So it's literally, unless you bought your season pass during like those 2 weeks, you can't get into this event, which is really dumb. I would get if they're trying to offer somewhat of an incentive for people that bought early to preview like a day or two before the rest of the pass holders. But to basically just say, oh, if you didn't renew your season pass during like the first 2 weeks that we had the renewals up, you don't get a pass holder preview for the ride at all. That is just like outlandish to me. Most parks, when they're opening a new ride like this, have some kind of season pass holder preview for the ride. And this ride basically doesn't. It's so weird to me. I kind of get trying to push the incentive to renew early, but you could have still done that and still given us a preview time. Anyways, you can see it's all day on Monday and Tuesday for gold and diamond pass holders that renewed early, and then silver pass holders who renewed early can join in for the previews on Saturday and Sunday morning. Friday morning is diamond only for some reason. I think everyone I've talked to about this agrees it's really dumb. Dollywood, you done screwed up. I mean, I count a total of 27 hours worth of previews. And based on my calculations, if the ride's running 2 trains, they should be able to easily hit 800 riders per hour, probably 850 more realistically. And even if they are only running 1 train during the previews, they can still squeeze around 550 riders per hour out of 1 train with the normal dispatch intervals I observe on other rides in the park. So that's around between 15,000 and 23,000 people that could realistically ride during preview hours. And I find it a little hard to believe that there's between 15 and 23,000 people that renew their passes during those 2 weeks and are going to be showing up for the preview next week. I could be totally wrong, but that doesn't seem to make mathematical sense to me. Basically what I'm saying is I think there's plenty of capacity for them to have opened up to other pass holders. Maybe give the ones that renewed early like priority to choose their time slots for previews first, and then open it up to the rest of pass holders. Maybe start with diamond, then gold, then silver, the hierarchy. Let them choose their time slots, and by the time it gets down to you just are stuck with whatever preview time slots are left, if any. I think that would be perfectly fine. Unfortunately, that's not how they're doing it. But if you are one of the lucky son of a guns that managed to renew your season pass at the end of October, here are the details on the preview event. Yes, I moved my camera over. My arm hurt, so I switched to another arm. Basically, you'll just go to this website, which I'll link in the description for you. Scroll down to the bottom. You'll put in your season pass ID number and then go from there. From what I've seen from other people online, you'll choose a time slot. These are 1 hour time slots, so you choose the hour on the day that works best for you. And then they'll give you a ticket, I think, like a digital ticket to go in like your Dollywood app or Apple or Google Wallet or whatever. And then that's what you'll show to them to get into the preview event when it's your time slot. Now, again, these are 1 hour time slots for the preview. Whether you get to ride just as many times as you can within that hour, or whether it's just you check in at some point during that hour, get one ride, and then are told to leave, I'm not exactly sure how that works. But obviously, it doesn't matter to me because as for when I personally will be riding, I have a final exam on that Friday from 3 to 6. So not on opening day, but I will definitely be there on Saturday, May 13th. I plan to come for the entire day that day if I can. Probably check out the plaza that morning if they let us go in. Try to be one of the first people in line when the ride does open to the public at 1 p.m. I'll probably stick through the line and try to get a few rides that day. I mean, I've ridden everything else at this park so many times. I'm fine to spend the time to try to get a few rides on this ride since it is so new, even though I predict it's going to be like a 3 or 4 hour line most of the day. I'd love to stick it out for the whole opening weekend to come back on Sunday the 14th, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to do that, honestly. It may just be the 13th, but I will definitely be there the 13th, and I plan to be there the whole day. So if any of you all are going to be there, hope to see you. Should be a good time. I am pretty excited to ride this, like I've already said. Right now, Expedition Everest is my favorite Vekoma, so we'll see if this ride can top it. Everest is like a whole experience, which is why I like it so much. This won't have as much experience going for it, but like I said, it looks pretty wild for a family coaster. So depending on how it rides, and especially how Dollywood ends up executing the queue line and onboard audio and stuff, I think this has the possibility to become my new favorite Vekoma. But anyways, hope this was useful information about the opening weekend of Big Bear Mountain, and only about a week and a half now. You can let me know what you think about this ride. If you're going to be riding this weekend or at any point this year, let me know. And otherwise, I hope to catch a ride with you again very soon. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because there's going to be plenty of Big Bear Mountain content once the ride actually opens. I mean, I've built pretty much this entire channel so far off of Big Bear Mountain construction updates, so it would be kind of irreverent if I didn't. Yeah, overall, good times. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're just as excited as I am.